Regular meeting of the Beavercreek Township Trustees, October 10th, 2016. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda in front of us. Do we have any additions, deletions, changes?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second?
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the payroll, the amount of $256,583.70.
Second?
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $87,851.51.
Second?
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. I'm gonna redo these individually, or just do them all cumulatively?
We do them all at once by just saying
Yeah.
those numbers they are.
Yeah.
Just say all the days.
Special meetings held July 11th, 2016, July 18th, 2016, August 29th, 2016, September 19th, and September 20th, 2016, as well as the regular meeting minutes. Regular meeting held July 18th, August 1st, August 15th, August 29th, and September 12th.
Second?
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes. Meeting to residents, citizens, I don't see any. So we go on to old business, none, new business, none. Mr. Zaharia.
Thank you, Board. First item on the agenda is the monthly and year-to-date analysis report from the Sheriff's Office. I do not have a bi-weekly report due to the vacation schedule last week in the Sheriff's Office. And it starts on page 3 of your packet. Are there any questions?
Do they have any ideas? It's similar to last year. I wasn't looking to see if they're comparing it. No, we just have the year with, are we doing about the same as we've done?
Pretty
previous year?
similar. There's no outstanding trends that they have noticed. I know I asked the major a couple questions based on 2 meetings ago, which would have been the last monthly report, but nothing really stuck out in regards to any unusual trends. Thank you, Board. Next item is on page 17 of the packet is the Human Resource Department biweekly report. Are there any questions?
I have none.
All right, thank you, Board. Next item starts on page 19. This is actually a 4-week report due to vacation in the zoning department last meeting. So this is activity from September 8th through October 5th. And that starts on page 19 in your packet. Are there any questions for the zoning board?
Are things slowing down a little bit?
A little bit, yes.
Did, roads or so it's probably in the road section, but, are they talking about doing anything on the 60 acres this year, or it'll be next year?
Are they talking,
It'll be next year. We're just meeting with the engineers now, and then they'll be submitting probably first of the year a plan for the 60 acres on the east side.
Okay, and Nathaniel's Grove is essentially, is it, there will be no actually building on it for a while, which is that the water hasn't been.
that's
Hold on.
correct.
Yeah. Right. So there's been a delay because of the bidding process for the water line or water supply system. But they're continuing to do work on everything else to hopefully, they're still working on the back east side of the parcel right now. So there's not as much activity on the Beaver Valley side of the project. Most of it's now behind the 2 parcels on Beaver Valley.
They won't be doing any construction of homes
Right.
until the water comes through, but they can do all the rest of the infrastructure, the road, the
They'll be
sewers,
working.
whatever they can pull.
Right,
through.
but it has not been bid as of today, that we know. Thank you, board. There is no information technology report. Mr. Terry's on vacation, this past week and part of this week. Next item is the road department. And this starts on page 23 of your packet. And the first item is a purchase request for bed cylinder. A budget justification is on page 23. Mr. Parks is here to answer any questions.
Sounded pretty straightforward. I'll make a motion to approve purchase request 00374 to Henderson Truck Equipment for a bed lift cylinder in the amount of $4,265 and authorize the township administrator to sign for the board.
Second.
Mr. Krebs? Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought you were looking at me like I forgot the call. What happened?
Thank you, board. Next
Going through
item.
these pieces of paper, because.
Sorry.
No, that's okay, it's just, we don't want to miss it.
Thank you, board. Next item is a reappropriation and a purchase request for repair of ladder 62. Resolution here for authorizing the money. And then the purchase request. Mr. Parks is here to answer any questions.
Give us a moment to sign these.
Oh, that's fine.
So you have a 30-year-old engine that's been rebuilt twice, rehabbed twice. And the anticipated life expectancy if we do this is 5 years, 1 year, 10 years.
We're gonna hope for 10 years, but hopefully we can cycle it out of the fleet.
The cost compared to, is there any advantage to buying a rebuilt engine at this point, or is there even one available?
There's not one available. That is part of what we're running up against is parts for this particular motor. We're getting harder and harder to get. So we kind of upped the estimate, what we think it's gonna cost. We don't have a firm quote back yet. We even looked into possibly finding a different motor, but with a different motor, then we have to get a different transmission, and yeah, it's not worth, this is the cheapest and most cost-effective route to go.
And how long is the vehicle down for?
We took it down the 6th, which was last Thursday. We're hoping,
For the repair, I'm sorry.
Well-
So if we authorize the repair, how long does it take?
well, I'm waiting for that estimate to come back. I can tell you that when we dropped it off, there's actually just one guy left in Clark Diesel that qualified to work on it. And the second thing is, they just had a Colerain Township engine in that needed heads replaced. It took them 2 months to get those, so. We'll have some more additional information, we'll quote back, see what's wrong with it, and what kind of parts available. I'm gonna guess probably 30 days.
So it's inoperable until fixed?
Yes.
It's not like we can use it limping along,
No.
it's completely down.
How often do we use the second ladder?
Depends on how often the first one goes down, and you probably have a better feel for that than I do, but it's not infrequent.
Yeah.
What is the average life, or the expected life of a new ladder truck?
Expected life on paper is 25 years. The more
Now, this was
realistic
all
is
this,
probably
whatever, is
15.
30 years now.
Yeah, I would say front line would be
15.
Yeah.
And 10 reserve.
Yeah.
So we've exceeded the
Right.
expected life of whatever. How much is it for a, Do we need 2 ladder trucks?
We need a ladder truck, and unfortunately, the reserve ladder truck is primarily for use when the primary is down. And again, the primary goes down not infrequently, so.
How old's the primary?
2010,
9 or 10.
10
10,
sounds familiar.
10 or 11. That's it.
10, 11 years.
No,
No,
So we got
2010.
2011?
2010 or 2011.
That's what I was
So it's
thinking.
roughly 6, 7 years old.
What does it go down for that frequently? I mean, just out of curiosity.
Biggest thing is it actually has a Caterpillar motor in it. Because of the emission standards, it's plugged up, so it has to be pulled down to get cleaned and all that. It's actually the oddball of the fleet motor-wise. Everything else has a Cummins in it except for the 2 ladder trucks, so.
And how much is a new ladder truck?
Brand new,
If we get a new one, yeah.
850,000 to $1 million.
And I don't think we had put that in
We
the
did
capital
not.
improvements in this cycle at all.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve purchase request 00375 to Clark Diesel for engine repair.
I think
Oh,
we
you
did
gotta
that.
move the money first.
As soon as we get the money.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve resolution, whereas the Board of Trustees of Beavercreek Township, Greene County, State of Ohio, move for the approval of the following, whereas to reappropriate from account 2281-930-930-5999 contingencies to account 2281-230-323-5600, repairs and maintenance fire apparatus in the amount of $20,000.
Second,
Mr. Prince?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
yeah.
Now, I'll make a motion to approve purchase request 00375 to Clark Diesel for engine repair to ladder 62 in an amount not to exceed $20,000 and to authorize the township administrator to sign for the board.
Second,
Mr. Prince?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
yes.
Thank you, Board. On page 26 is the biweekly report for the road department. Are there any questions?
It's busy. How many trucks, vehicles will you be having at the Triad truck on Saturday?
What?
Just one, which one are we putting out?
It's our newest dump truck, which is 5, 6 years old.
They
If we
always
get
look,
cleaned up between now and Friday.
they always look brand new when you put them out there. They really look very impressive regardless of the age.
We try to take care of them and get the best use we can.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Somewhere I saw Nicholas here on Bexley as far as the emergency access that's scheduled for the 7th.
Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A week from today. It was actually
What
scheduled.
was the final solution? Which came up with, as far as moving the fence, not moving the fence, putting the fence back over it?
In my conversation one evening last week with Mr. Cottle, he was still debating whether to put it back, and I'm trying to steer him down that road, just keep it 6 feet off, and our biggest thing this week is trying to get the trees moved, and I've actually had conversations with Mr. Arnold, those neighbors, as late as this morning, so.
Library roof is,
The roof itself is done. Now it's just a matter of doing the metal work and the downspouts, which they've got probably 90% of the east side of the building done.
looks really good.
I think it's gonna be a nice improvement.
Yeah. I think when the metal work is done, it'll really look.
And the downspouts, they can come out of those same over things. Is it a regular downspout that's?
Yeah, actually, you'll have what used to be the scupper.
Right.
There's a box up now mounted underneath it. It catches the water and takes it down a downspout into the gravel.
Okay. So there won't be any overspill or coming around.
As long as there's not a torrential downpour.
Right. And there shouldn't be as much ice as we've had in the past.
No. The icing should all be enclosed, so.
It did look very impressive, the metal pieces that I saw the last time I was over there. It looks real good.
Thank you, board.
You,
Next item on the agenda is a request to adopt a proclamation for Fire Prevention Week. The proclamation here. Just a reminder that our open house is scheduled for next Saturday, the 15th.
This coming Saturday.
Yeah.
10 to 1?
Good question. What time?
10 to 2.
Yeah, because the fire truck is 10 to 1, so
Yeah, I think,
I could have gone
I've got
back.
so many numbers in my head, I will probably tell you the wrong number if I tell you right now.
I was doing the weekly briefing. I could find the right one. It says 10 to 1.
And then following that, we have our Explorer meeting, so that probably runs one.
And it says it's a chili cook-off also.
Yes.
I finally got my thing working.
Yeah.
I'll take a motion to approve proclamation for Fire Prevention Week, October 9th through 15th, 2016. Whereas the Beavercreek Township Fire Department in the state of Ohio is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting Beaver Creek. And whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are where people are at great risk of fire. And whereas U.S. Fire Departments responded to 369,500 home fires in 2014, according to the National Fire Protection Association. And whereas U.S. home fires resulted in 2,745 civilian deaths in 2014, representing the majority, 84%, of all U.S. fire deaths. And whereas in 1/5 of all homes and with smoke alarms, the smoke alarms are not working. And whereas 3 out of 5 home fire deaths result from fires in properties without smoke alarms, 38%, or with no working smoke alarm, 21%. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half. Whereas many Americans don't know how old the smoke alarms in their homes are or how often they need to be replaced. And whereas all smoke alarms should be replaced at least once every 10 years. Whereas Beavercreek Township's first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas Beavercreek Township residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. Whereas the 2016 Fire Prevention Week theme, "Don't Wait, Check the Date, Replace Smoke Alarms Every 10 Years," effectively serves to educate the public about the vital importance of replacing smoke alarms in their homes at least every 10 years, and to determine the age of their smoke alarms by checking the date of manufacture on the back of the alarms.
Second.
Mr. Kreis.
Yes.
Ms. Black.
Yes.
Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Beavercreek Township Trustees, Greene County, Ohio, do hereby proclaim October 9th through 15th, 2016 as Fire Prevention Week. And further be it resolved that as the Board of Beavercreek Township Trustees, we urge all the residents of Beavercreek to find out how old the smoke alarms in their homes are, to replace them if they are more than 10 years old, and to participate in the many public safety activities and efforts of the Beavercreek Township Fire Department during the 2016 Fire Prevention Week.
Do we have any smoke alarms available at the open house?
I don't believe we have any left. We've had some that have been donated in the past. I believe they've all been distributed already.
And then you have to be tall people to get up and check when the smoke alarms have been manufactured.
That is true.
So
But
one of
the
us
fire
gets
department
all
can-
that.
So we do, if folks call and ask for assistance, we can come out and help them with that.
Because that's important. There's some of us were told, do not climb on the ladders.
Yes. We would much rather come out and help you check the smoke detector than to have to transport you to the hospital.
Thank you, board. Next item is on page 28 of your packet, number 2, be a request to accept donation of a fitness equipment. I have a resolution here.
Make a motion to approve the following resolution. The Board of Trustees of Beavercreek Township of Greene County, Ohio, met in a duly called and authorized meeting of the Board of Trustees of Beavercreek Township on the date set forth above, such meeting being duly called pursuant to notice stating the time, place, and purpose of the meeting received by all Beavercreek Township board members. And the following resolution was made, seconded, and it will be made, seconded, and adopted by those present at the meeting. Whereas Mr. and Mrs. Tamplin of Beavercreek, Ohio, wish to make a donation to the Smooth Fitness CE 7.4 elliptical trainer valued at $700. Whereas the Ohio Revised Code 505.10A authorizes the board to accept the donation of real or personal property for township use, and whereas the board does graciously accept said donation on behalf of the township.
Second.
Mr. Kreis.
Yes.
Ms. Scott.
Yes.
Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Beavercreek Township Trustees favorably pass the above resolution, and further be it resolved that the above listed item be added to the township's inventory according to township policy and practice. Pass on our appreciation.
Now, where will it be housed?
That is up to Lieutenant Harrison to determine. He administers our health and wellness program, so I will find out from him.
I was just curious.
Yeah, I'm not sure which station he has it stored.
Will it be in addition to some of the equipment or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I believe the only other elliptical is currently at Station 60.
No, okay. That is a, would be an additional piece that other stations don't have, and they can get the package to ship.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Okay.
Thank you, Board. Next item is a request to purchase Pro QA annual maintenance, and the budget justification starts on page 28.
Is this more or less or the same as we paid last year?
This is the same. This is the same as last year, and I believe the year prior, and the first 2 years were included in the additional purchase cost.
So it was a 3 year.
Yes.
And do we then renegotiate a new 5-year after this? Or
I don't know that it's negotiated. I believe it's just their set pricing, although we can certainly ask, so I don't know that that's passed.
I think you said you were thinking of adding
That's one of-
additional hard module to it, so that maybe then the negotiation can take place with the combination.
So that is one of the recommendations we're gonna bring back to the next meeting, whether we should pursue that in budget year 2017. So yeah, you're right, that would be an excellent opportunity to speak to them about possible reductions.
I'll make a motion to approve the following purchase request. 08302 for Priority Dispatch for a 1-year Pro QA software maintenance agreement in the amount of $3,615, and to authorize the township administrator to sign for the board.
Second.
Mr. Kreis.
Yes.
Ms. Scott.
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Next item is the Fire Department's biweekly activity report, starts on page 29, as well as
So all these remedies are in process.
Yes, ma'am. One of them's been completed, one is scheduled, I believe, these are for the, securing of the, medications on the engines. I believe, Steve Du Bois is working with, the maintenance staff to figure out the best way to accomplish that. We are reaching out to our medical directors to get the signatures for the copies of the drug licenses, so they are, yes, all in process.
Thank you,
I
Board.
did look at
Oh,
the reports. Okay, what did you got?
I have one question. Our fire and EMS, understanding that our, all of our EMS people are actually firefighters.
Correct.
Was there any restriction on their life insurance if they were, if something were to occur due to an act of terrorism? Are they covered?
I have no idea. I would imagine that their individual policies would be on a case by case.
Based on what's
I don't know of
provided
any
with them.
federal regulation that would
The only reason I ask is I learned that in a city like Pittsburgh, they are not. And it's that firefighters are covered, but EMS personnel are not covered if they were killed in an act of terrorism.
I've never heard that, I have no idea, but,
When did the PDQ issue?
Yeah,
So
I'll,
I'm just curious.
I'll verify that for you. This issue came up, when we increased our insurance amount, about 4 or 5 years ago. We increased it. I'm just saying, I'll double check.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they are.
Yes, and then depending on what our policy is, then we can let the folks know, they can ask for all of their individual policies.
And the concern obviously comes up because now it's not necessarily another 9/11 situation, but it could be
All the
much
many
smaller
variations
cases,
we see.
all the distortions, and if it's classified as an act of terrorism, to make sure that person, that family is actually covered.
Yes, sir.
So,
We'll find out this next one.
It looks like the medical calls are up a little bit.
yeah, but we're still not, up is relative, it's up for the year, but, we're not really up for year over year at this point.
Because it used to be 142, 145, that's 171, so.
Yeah. So we do have, variation within the year, and, if it stays up, then that'd be probably worth looking at, seeing what's going on. We may have had a lull leading up to that point, this might be a little bit of a spike, but for a year over year, we're still down a couple percent if I remember correctly. And, so we're certainly not high as relative term.
Now, you've given us again the Narcon administration, and I think it was either yesterday's paper or today's paper, where they were showing an individual, not Beavercreek, who was administered 12 doses of Narcan to bring them out. Is that something that we would, you would administer as many doses as necessary? Is that how you deal with it? Do we carry that?
That's, we don't carry that many. Protocol determines how much we can administer pre-hospital, and, obviously the amount that we have on site would limit it as well. Anything, I believe, over 2 would require medical control. Is 2 the limit?
No, I think you can go up to 4, but that's all you have.
Okay.
Yeah. So you would do an initial dose of 1 milligram and see if that works and work your way up. I don't know if they added another ampule or not.
I have no idea.
But it's not uncommon. The sheriff spoke just last week on this topic. The issue that we're seeing here locally is the mixture of fentanyl with the heroin, which is another opium-based medication, and it's the addition of fentanyl that they're cutting it with to have more doses of heroin. So it's the combination of 2 opiates on top. That's why it's taken additional doses and potentially more doses to bring them out from the overdose. The sheriff did talk about and did present to the community and did point out to the community that applauded the township, Beavercreek Township, for paying extra interdiction and patrol efforts in the area. The issue is,
That was at Rotary.
yes,
Okay.
the issue, and he spoke at, there's two or three public forums that he's been speaking, there's one coming up. I think it's in Xenia, so it's been going around in the community. So last time it was at, here in Beavercreek, there was one scheduled in Fairborn as well. The issue is, it is the cheapest right now in Dayton, Ohio, throughout the state, and it's, we're seeing other dealers coming to the Dayton area to buy it and take it back to the other communities, and sell it at their cost, and much higher.
My point is, if that person needed 12, if an individual needs anything over what you have, you're on the way to the hospital, whatever it is,
Yeah.
they may not get there.
And that's really any drug that we do have.
Okay.
And there are instances where, in a cardiac arrest or other events, where you can exhaust a particular drug. So, we are extremely lucky in this area to have hospitals as close as we do. So, typically, we don't have an
an issue of loaning out of the truck because we're able to transport to a facility and transfer the care over. And obviously they have a much larger site than we carry.
Thank you, 'cause
Thank
every
you.
week, every bi-weekly you come up with one or two.
Yeah, it's a constant.
Thank you, board, that's all I have.
Okay. Ms. Brick,
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Fritz. Okay. Ms. Aarons.
I have nothing.
Make a motion to go into executive session under Ohio Revised Code, section 121.22G3, conferences with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or imminent court action.
Second.
Mr. Kretz?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes. All right.
Make a motion to
Okay.
come out of executive session at 2:20 PM.
Second?
Mr. Kretz?
Yes.
Ms. Graff?
Yes. Motion to.
And I'll make a motion to adjourn at 2:21 PM.
Second.
Kretz?
Yes.